I'm Amber from the Ladies of Liberty Alliance, and when I want to hear about hardcore activism, I go to freekeen.com. Does that matter?
Hi, welcome to Low Country Liberty Report. It's Terran Lupo reporting. Excuse my voice today. I've been pretty sick, and that's why I sound like Sulu. I'll give you my best impression as thanks for ruining the franchise, Bacula. Anyway, today I'm going to talk to you about the Savannah bartending ordinance. I had done a story about this about 6 months, I guess it was about 6 months ago, I can't remember, but a whiles back, and it was about how they wanted to make bartenders and servers have a license. Now, this was, I called it at the time, you know, this had really nothing to do with safety. This was all just more regulation and more control and more money in bureaucrats' pockets. Well, what happened is they pushed through the bill, and now a bunch of people are all ticked off about it and trying to get a petition together. I'm going to take you to those interviews to tell you what's going on with that.
All right. I'm here with Shaun. Shaun, can you give me an idea of what's going on in Savannah with this new bar law?
Well, the city's basically got an idea to basically put a tax on the bartenders in Savannah. Not only the bartenders, I should say, but the bar managers, the bar the doorman at the bar. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get everyone to get fingerprinted, photographed, get an ID, be put in the criminal database. They're going to charge them for a class, and they're also going to hit them with a bunch of other fees in which they cannot work unless they have this card. Not only that, according to get the card, they have to get 30. They have to not have any criminal record. That's including a DUI, a drug violation. If they had any type of altercation that's considered violent, it doesn't even say if it's a felony or misdemeanor. It could be anything. That they'll be banned from actually working for 3 years. And since they have to get it renewed, that means if they get it renewed and they do something, get a DUI, that's bartenders, most of them have DUIs, then they'll be banned then they basically won't be able to work. So we see this as being not only a tax, which is bad enough, but a restriction of work, which is everyone's right, especially in the state of Georgia. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to overturn it, and we're trying to repeal it. And we don't even mind so much that it's the class that they have to take. We are more into actually being able to protect the people's right to work and not be forced with DUI.
So what is the feedback when you've approached the mayor on this? What did he say?
Well, we went to town hall meeting, and we took our petition, and we spoke in front of him, and we basically asked him if what his response was with our petition and with our organizing, and he basically said, "You're just gonna have to sue us." He was really blunt. He pretty much strong-armed us. He went to the city. He went to look at the rest of the city council, and he said, I think we all voted for this unanimously, so you're pretty much going to have to take us to court." So that's what we're going to try to do.
Gotcha. I'm here with Nicole Edge. And Nicole, can you give me an idea? You work in the hospitality industry, and how is this going to affect local businesses?
Well, it affects the business owners first off because the government's getting involved in choosing who can and cannot work. So that's a direct influence on the business owners. They no longer have the right to choose their employees because of this bar card ordinance. If you can't get the card for any reason, like Shaun just specified, that's going to cut them out of work. It's also going to cause social problems because we're cutting people out of work due to something possibly very minor. Say somebody got in a fight, possibly misdemeanor, violent crime right there. They're no longer allowed to work. So they're out of work, they're out of money. What are they going to turn to next?
So you're saying that the government now will basically decide who a businessman can and can't hire and takes that choice away from the business itself.
Yep, and according to our state constitution, the government has no ability to influence that. It's not part of the supplementary powers.
So what's been going on as far as the community's reaction to this?
99.9% of people I speak to about this, I have them read the ordinance, talk to them about it, they're opposed. There's like one ever so often that has not read the ordinance that is just like, oh yeah, it's good.
So at this point, is the petition worth doing still, or do you think at this point it's just going to have to go to lawsuit and you guys are going to have to call
the petition is always worth doing. It is our right, it's our constitutional right for them to readdress our grievances if we have them by petition. So I definitely think it's worth keeping up with. At least they know here's thousands of people that won't be voting them back in when election time comes around. I know Mayor Johnson has no influence on that, but the rest of city council, I'm sure they might want to keep their jobs.
Gotcha.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Tony, Tony, you were actually at the first council meeting where they were addressing this before it snuck its way in.
Right.
Can you remember what the bureaucrats were saying about why they were doing this? Who was, so they said there were some complaints. Do you remember what was said?
It was really pretty interesting because someone at the microphone, I'm not sure what bar he was from, had asked the city council. They said, well, you know, what is the reason that we're going to be doing, you know, why this legislation is coming through now? And it was, I believe, Michael Brown who stated that we've been having complaints. And when pressed a little further by the guy at the microphone, the guy at the microphone asked him, well, who's been complaining about this? And then Michael Brown said, well, it's someone on the city council. It's actually been another council member. So
the only people that were actually complaining to the council worked for the council and were, in fact, going to benefit from all these fines and fees.
That's the way it appeared. I mean, they weren't able to specify anything other than the fact that it was really the council's idea. And so
they kind of created a problem in order to solve it and then make money off it.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think especially given the fact that there's only going to be one company handling this training that they require.
Who was also at the meeting.
Well, and he was at the meeting as well, but giving a monopoly to one company when there's many companies that do that kind of training, I think it does bring it into question the council's motivation for the proposal.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think the problem really started, and who dropped the ball was, I was at the original meeting when they were trying to push this through, and not one person stood up and confronted and said, no, we should not have this idea. Instead, they argued about, you know, who should have it. And they argued with the bartenders and, the restaurant owners argued with each other instead of arguing with the bureaucrat. I understand they have a lot to lose because the bureaucrat can make their life hell and cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So they're scared. They're scared to step out and say that this is a crappy idea because they don't want to get targeted. And that's just an awful, awful way for us to run a government. And it's just another reason why government doesn't work. Anyway, this is Taryn Lupo. As always, good hunting.
This program is brought to you by freekeen.com. Freekeen.com features audio, video, and blogs chronicling the transition to a voluntary society. Freekeen.com also has comments and discussion forums so you can be heard. Freekeen.com.